Hello and welcome to another video. So we are getting extremely close to the convention. I'm super excited. We're less than 2 weeks away at this point, but I also wanted to, right before the convention, announce a new series that I'm going to be posting on my channel. And this is going to be, so typically if you keep up with my uploads at all, I typically upload on Saturdays, but this is going to be a series that I continue probably to upload on Wednesdays is most likely what I'm going to be shooting for. We have the convention coming up, so like my upload schedule might be a little weird with the convention, but I wanted to go ahead and introduce the series. I've been really excited about it. I've been working on it in the background for a while now, and that is that I am going to be going through every single face of Integrity Toys, and then I'm going to be talking about what I think the best release of that face is. So if you know anything about Integrity Toys, there are a lot of different face sculpts. And on top of that, there's even more characters. Like some characters even share the same face sculpt. As an example, we have Vanessa Perrin 2.0 with Violin Perrin, who's the mermaid back here. They're different characters with the exact same face sculpt. Or Lilith and Eden, the twins, they have the same face sculpt, but they're two different characters. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to go through and review my favorite version of every single character in their release. And I'm kind of like going to be doing like a whole little ranking system. So I'm going to be going through each line, starting with Fashion Royalty, followed by New Face. We're going to go through Poppy Parker. We're going to go through all of them. And I'm even including like the different iterations of a single sculpt as separate characters. For example, in this video here, I'm starting with Fashion Royalty. So Adele 1.0 is different than Adele 2.0 and 3.0. They're all three separate like characters the way that I did it. So you can see why this is going to be a series. That is a lot of faces to go over, which I'm excited for. Like I've been working on the background. I've like started ranking them, and I was trying to think of like how to make this work if it's going to be in multiple different parts, because if I did this all in one part, it would be like who knows how many hours long. But what I decided to do is I made my own little like scoring system. So for every single doll that I'm going to go over, I'm going to rank them out of 10 stars. And what I'm doing is that's 5 for the doll and 5 for the look. So if the doll is absolutely perfect, like I love her, would change nothing about her, maybe even I really want her, something like that, she's a 5. If I have no interest in her at all, it's a 0. And then the same goes for the look. If I think the look is perfect, it's a 5. And if I have 0 interest in the look, it gets a 0. So to be a 10-star doll, you have to be like, the doll has to be perfect and the look has to be perfect. Because there are multiple dolls where like, I'm obsessed with the doll, but the look I don't think is as strong, and vice versa. Yeah, I think that's about all I need to do to like talk about what I'm planning with the series. So I guess we can just go ahead into it. I'm gonna set it up, and we're gonna start off with our very first doll with the very first line of with Integrity that we're gonna starting with, Fashion Royalty, and our first up is gonna be Adele Mada 1.0. Okay, so here we are. As I said, Adele Mada 1.0 is our first one. Also, I forgot to mention, we're gonna be doing 9 dolls in each segment, and then at the end of each segment we're gonna have a 10th doll, which is gonna be like who I think is the strongest out of the 9 that I presented. So technically we'll be looking at 10 dolls, but one we'll see twice. So anyway, let's get to our first one, Adele Mada 1.0. And right here, you can see right down here, I have all the different stock photos of her, and then at the bottom you have the name of the doll. So in this case is going to be the Faces of Adele. Up top, again, you'll see the character, which is Adele Mada 1.0, which is her sculpt as well as the character. And then to the very far side, you can see how I ranked this doll. Okay, we went through the boring stuff. So for the Faces of Adele, Adele Mada 1.0, again, I picked this doll as my favorite release of Adele Mada 1.0. This is an older face sculpt, so they definitely had a different vibe. I don't think they perfectly fit into the newer generation of Integrity Toys dolls. though maybe if they just had like a modern screening, I think they could fit in pretty well. But it's just like their features are a little more cartoony, seems to be the thing. But I do really like this Adele. So as you can see, for the doll, I ranked her a 3. And then for the look, where I gave her a 4.5. So that's just 0.5 away from a perfect score on the outfit. So her total comes in at a 7.5. I think this is a really fun Adele. This is one I wasn't really aware of. Adele 1.0, a lot of the older face sculpts, my knowledge is little to none, honestly. So that's another thing that I wanted to do, like not only provide content and like just talk about dolls because I enjoy doing that, but also I'm learning more about all the different sculpts and faces of Integrity Toys, which is something I personally want to become more educated on. So this release, as you can tell, I like the look more than the doll, but it's also a really cool release. You can see in the photo right below me, this was a special doll that it was the faces of Adele. So it literally had other faces of Adele. So like there's Adele 1.0, and then Adele 2.0 is the blonde one in the bottom, and in the middle is Adele 3.0. So I think that's a pretty cool idea since she's one of the older characters. She's had so many iterations. A really cool, really fun release that they did multiple of. But again, we're not talking about the other two because those are other face sculpts. Those are not Adele 1.0. So what I love about this so much is just the brightness of this dress, like that super, super fuchsia hot pink. It's so cool. And then like the folding origami look of it with the completely open back. I haven't seen a dress like this before. Oh, and then that super high slit on the side. It's a really fun dress. It looks very like award show type. It's honestly a piece that I think would look good on literally any character. And then this Adele with the flocked hair. Again, we don't see a lot of flocked hair characters. I think the only other one I can think of is the Dominique from the Legendary Convention, I believe. Or no, it may have been the Obsession. I think it was the Obsession Convention. I'll put a photo up of the one I'm thinking of. But that's the only one I know off the top of my head that also had flocked hair from Integrity Toys. But yeah, this is a really cool, really fun, unique doll. And I think I don't know, it's cool. I like it. So that's it for Adele Makeda 1.0. Okay, so now we are on to Adele Makeda 2.0. And I will let you know right off the bat, this has become one of my favorite face sculpts from all of Integrity Toys. When I first started collecting, I wasn't too aware. Like I knew I'd heard of Adele, but I wasn't too aware of her. But the Adele 2.0, ever since I got Pink Glam Adele and like able to see the sculpt in person, I have been so in love with her face. Like it's just so beautiful. She's just like, the lips are like pouty, and then she just has this like really like high fashion but judgy eyes in all of her releases with this sculpt. It's so good. So oh my gosh, I should have looked up how to say this. What is exquisite? Is that how you would... I say the word, but I've never tried to spell it. Spelling is not my thing, but I think it's exquisite. Adele Makeda 2.0. As you can see, the doll I ranked a 5, and the look I did a 4. So anyone who has been around on my channel before, if you've seen like my grail list and things like that, you all know I am a huge fan, and like one of the dolls on my grail list is doll face Adele Makeda. She is so beautiful. I really love that doll, but I just don't think the look is strong enough to represent my favorite release of Adele ever. It's probably my favorite release of Adele 2.0's, like the doll specifically. But if we're talking about complete package, I think this doll definitely takes the cake, because I love this short hair with like that wave in the front. Then she's got her scarf that ties up and this business suit. I don't know. I love it. Like she's just giving like boss bitch energy here. It's amazing. So yeah, the doll is a 5. The look is a 4. I think the only reason I gave the look a 4 is because I am more into like the like glamour and like like a dress that looks like it could be worn on Miss Universe or something like that. But this is still an incredible look, and this Adele, just like the screening on her, is so beautiful. So she got a score of a 9, and she is who I believe to be the best release of Adele Mada 2.0. Okay, and now we get into Adele's weak spot. We come in with Adele Mada 3.0. Here we have style console Adele, and the doll I gave a 3, the look I gave a 0. So her total score comes up to just being a 3. So for me, at least, maybe there'll be a better release in the future, but for me, Adele 2.0 is so good, and Adele 3.0 just like takes away some. It's just kind of like Adele 2.0 is so good you don't need to change anything. It's like, don't fix it if it's not broken. And Adele 3.0, she came in, it seems like they've done a couple releases of her, but none of them really rank up to an Adele 2.0. So that's where this one kind of lands, honestly. I do think the doll's kind of pretty. Like, I gave her a 3. She's got nice makeup and everything, but I would still, she's a lower ranking Adele. And then the look, I do not like at all. This like leopard dress with the gold chain, chunky necklace, and like flare skirt. It's giving very like housewives of like, I don't know, like the 2010s, early 2010s, maybe 2009, like in Jersey or something. And it even has like the slightly bumped hair. So like Jersey housewife from the 2010s or like 2009 or something. It's just not for me, but it's fine. But I am definitely glad that it seems Integrity Toys has decided to stick with the Adele 2.0. Now we are coming in with an Integrity Toys fan favorite. This doll is always mentioned when people talk about the best face sculpts or the best dolls. I see her mentioned all the time. She is Agnes Von Weiss. So if you've watched any of my past videos, this one probably won't be a surprise at all that I chose this Agnes as who I think is the best released Agnes. And that is Legendary Status, the silver variant. I love everything about this doll. Okay, first off, I am not a crazy fan of Agnes. I think she's really beautiful. But if you've watched my video where I keep referencing a lot of my older videos. I had a video where I talked about my 10 favorite face sculpts. Agnes wasn't on the list. I had multiple comments calling me crazy for that. But I do like her. She's just not in my like top tier face sculpts. But this Agnes is absolutely perfect. She's so beautiful. She is from the Legendary convention, I'm pretty sure, or it was like a post-event offered doll. I wasn't, of course, collecting at the time, but from what I saw, she was like a doll that was offered after the event was over in a way, because she's a color variant of like the main doll that was on all the packaging and everything. But yeah, she's so beautiful. This like platinum hair and this like lavender makeup with the nude lip, and then this like silver beaded kind of like not lavender, but kind of like a blue gray, like a stormy sky blue colored, and then the crystal stones tights and like the crystal clutch. She is so beautiful. This is a doll that is literally at the top of my grail list, so of course she was going to be here. So yes, this is, in my opinion, by far, hardly any competition, honestly, the best Agnes Von Weiss release. Okay, the next doll that we're going to be talking about is the Alysa 1.5. And right here we have the Alysa Bride Jason Wu Collection Spring 2020. Really long title, but I think that's how most of the Jason Wu dolls are. They kind of, because they're based off of his actual fashions. But for here, I gave the doll a 2.5, the look of 5, for a total score of a 7.5. So, the doll, she's fine, but I don't think she's anything to really write home about. She's like, I'm not in love with the face sculpt, or at least maybe the screening here. It just, for some reason, it feels a little flat to me. It doesn't serve, or it doesn't like give as much as the typical Integrity Toys release. The hair, it's nice. It's in a nice little bridal style, but I'm just not like crazy about the doll. Like, I could lose the doll and be happy with this as a fashion pack, which is why I gave the look a 5, because this bridal look is absolutely beautiful. And then she has this lingerie set underneath. I love it. Like, the look is incredible. I just honestly would put it on someone else, really anyone else. Okay, not anyone else, that might be going too far, but I feel like there's a lot of dolls that if they had been used instead, would have really knocked, like, this could have been a high ranking doll for me. 7.5 isn't bad, but this look is so strong. I think it just needed a stronger model. But yeah, this is what I still believe to be the best Alysa so far, but I don't think she's just not one of the characters for me. Speaking of characters that just don't really do it for me, next is Anja, and this is her Scarlet Hex release. Yeah, this is technically part of the new fantasy line, but Anja is listed as a fashion royalty character. I gave the doll a 1, the look a 5, and she comes in with a total score of a 6. So I don't know if it's the face sculpt, or maybe it's the screening here, but I don't hate it. It's just I would never like work hard to obtain her, or I wouldn't seek her out in any way. She's just okay. She complements the dress, but really the only thing that matters here, very similar to the Alysa doll, is this outfit. Like, this outfit is so stunning. It's supposed to be like this kind of like, obviously Scarlet Hex is part of the new fantasy line. She's supposed to be kind of like this like evil witch, sorceress, like blood witch maybe, with all the red. I think this gown is so beautiful, and the vibrancy of that red is insane. I don't know if it's that vibrant in person, but like in these photos it is so intense, but in an incredible way. It's very beautiful. I love the arm wrappings and like the thorn necklace, all of the like very like dark academia kind of vibes from all the jewelry. It's a really beautiful piece, but again, I just don't think the model is as strong as the look. I think a different model could have really helped knock this out of the park, and I just wasn't impressed with Anja, so she gets a 6. The next doll is a doll that I am like hoping we see more of in the future. I really like her, and that is Amaline. I gave the doll a 4.5, the look a 4. Oh, and this is her celebration release, so she gets a score of 8.5. Amaline, from what I remember, she was a face sculpt that was like with the large, like there was a taller line from Integrity Toys dolls, and she was a face sculpt from one of the taller lines, and then she was brought to the 12-inch line, and I just really like Amaline's face. Like, it's just like so pouty and over it, and this was by far my favorite release they've had of her so far. Again, I really do hope to see more of her, but I love this like really big hair. I'm pretty sure that this was supposed to be like a reference to Diana Ross with the hair and the makeup and everything, but she's so beautiful. I love this dress, this kind of like really tight fitted, and I'm not sure if it would count as a mermaid. Maybe it does, but it's not. When I think of mermaid, I really think of a really big flare out at the bottom. This is kind of a small flare, but I guess it still would count as a mermaid dress. It's just very flattering to the doll, very beautiful, and I don't know, it's very like natural, like earth goddess kind of vibes, and I love it. She's so beautiful, and again, she is someone I really want to see some more releases of in the future, so I'll keep my fingers crossed. But so far, Celebration is my favorite release of the character Amaline. All right, this is the first doll where I actually own this doll. So now we are on to Beina Park, and this was the modern Renaissance look from the curated event that I was able to attend. If you want to see a video of that, it is on my channel. This doll is a newer character. She shares a face sculpt with another character, but this was the first release of the character Beina. So I gave the doll a 3, the look a 5, for a total score of an 8. So my feelings on this doll really have changed back and forth. When I first saw this doll in person, I was absolutely blown away. She just took my breath away. And the main thing, like it still is for me now, is this dress. This dress is so beautiful. The long train afterwards, but then the perfectly like silhouette hugging like center, I don't even know what to call it, main dress, the bodice of the dress, like perfectly hugging her is so good. And then all these beautiful like flowing ribbons as her bracelets and the neck piece, which you actually can only see on the slightly on the photo right below me. But I love this doll. She's very beautiful, but I think my favorite thing about this doll, if I'm honest, is the look. Beina has a very interesting face sculpt. It's not bad. I just think there might be a more flattering like screening or release of her in the future. I think there's a lot of hope for this face sculpt, but right now she's just not contending with the top girls for me. But yes, she comes in at 8, a very beautiful doll. So now we are going to be ending on a strong note. This is the last doll we're going to be looking at in this first video, and we are ending with Danya Zar and her Mothership release. So right away, I don't think there's any score she could have other than this. The doll is a 5, the look is a 5, her score is a 10. So perfect score for Danya Zar. This look is insane. It is so good. Like this futuristic, super like white hair with these black streaks, kind of like futuristic Cruella de Vil is really the vibe I get from this doll. It's like Cruella de Vil's great granddaughter or something. I love it so much. And all this like reflective silver robotic pieces, like she's living in the year like 2070 or something. It's such a cool doll. And then the bold makeup, I love the bold makeup. She's an incredible doll. And then she also has this cover-up piece. Like, to be honest, I don't even think she needs this black over jacket, but it's so good. It's like too much in one doll. It's so good. And I lost my train of thought. Also in this silver look, it also reminds me of Beyonce's music video Sweet Dreams. She has this kind of like gold robotic look that she moves around in, and it reminds me so much of this look. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. A 10. I couldn't give it more than like anything less than that. It's so good. Amazing look. And yeah, that's it. So now we have talked about 9 different Fashion from Royalty girls, and then as a fun little thing at the end of each set, I just want to talk about like my favorite release from this set I went over, because like each of these is my favorite of that character, but now let's see which character's favorite release is my favorite out of the 9, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's just get to it. My absolute favorite of all the dolls that I talked about in this video today is, probably no surprise, legendary status silver variant Agnes Von Weiss. Again, this doll is at the top of my grail list for a reason. She is perfect to me. She is so beautiful. I love her so much. I'm gonna own her one day. I'm just gonna manifest it. She's an incredible doll. Every detail about her is done correctly. Every single one. I would change nothing about her. That's why she is going to be number 1 on my list. So that is it for this video. I'd love to know, like, feel free to play along with me down in the comments. Like, you saw the 9 characters I went over. Feel free to tell me your favorite release from each of the 9 characters. I would love to hear it down below. Obviously, this is going to be a series, like I said, so you can look forward to each week. I'll have a new video going over the next 9 characters. Of course, with the convention coming up, it's going to start after the convention videos, but I did want to like start this series and just share it with you guys and see what the response is and everything. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I am so excited for this new series. It's just going to be just for fun, you know, and also learning all the different characters and face sculpts and releases. It's going to be a lot of fun. So as always, down in the description below, you can find all of my links and stuff like that, like my Instagram, which is his.dolls on Instagram. You can also find links to me and my brother's podcast. We're Literally Obsessed. It's here on YouTube as well as on Spotify. And yeah, that's about it. And next week, this is technically the last video I will be uploading before going to the convention. But I do have a special convention kind of related video coming out next week, to still like hype up the convention with you guys and things like that while I'm already at the convention. So keep eye out for that, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.